Good evening and welcome to the this month's Town Council meeting. But before we get into the agenda, we have a presentation that we would like to make this evening to a deserving community member. I just got a little bit I have to read out. This is a Recreation Volunteer Award for Mr. Barry Keel. Barry Keel is highly respected and dedicated volunteer in Happy Valley Goose Bay, known for his behind-the-scenes contributions to a wide range of sports, including softball, darts, badminton, and soccer. He plays a crucial role in ensuring events run smoothly by managing tournament operations such as scheduling, scorekeeping, rankings, and overall administration. With years of experience, Barry is a trusted resource for event organizers, often offering guidance and serving on appeal committees. His commitment to accuracy and detail is unmatched, frequently working late into the night to ensure results are finalized and available by morning. Selfless and dependable, Barry consistently puts the success of events and organizations first, never seeking recognition. His long-standing contributions have supported countless clubs and earned him deep respect across the community. Congratulations, Barry, on earning this well-deserved award. Your contributions to the recreation community certainly do not go unnoticed. So I would ask you to come down and we can present you with your well-deserved award, sir.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Cindy, you want a picture?
Should get one with the council now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Thank you for everything, Barry.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Lab Cup.
And Winter Games.
And Winter Games. She's trying to drag him out.
Huh?
Golfing.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So we're still rolling?
I guess so.
I think she found.
Would you like me to check?
I'll check.
Does somebody want to check?
I can't.
I think we are past, yes, you are correct.
Well, it's 4:59, so good time.
Are we live? Okay. Some little technical issues to deal with here, but apparently we're still rolling. So I will start the meeting with the call, actually the 18th meeting of the 14th Council of the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, and I call for an adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs, seconded by Councillor Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Okay, and delegations, we have no delegations today. Okay, correspondence is there in your package for council to review. Adoption of previous minutes. Call for a motion to adopt the 15th minutes, May 16th, 2026, with an amendment to the amount of the unapproved checks from $1,064,716.39 to $1,329,061.04. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against. Motion's carried. 16 minutes, June 2nd, 2026. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Odell, seconded by Councillor Rumbold. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 17th minutes, June 9th, 2026. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against. Motion's carried. Okay, moving into committees, Finance Administration and Policy Committee, and I will ask Councillor Rumble, please, to bring forward a report.
Thank you, Mayor. Council met as a committee of a whole on June the 9th, 2026. Under the Finance, Admin, and Policy Committee, we discussed a request from our local Kinsman Club to house their charter certificate in our chambers. We had a couple of housekeeping-based items that we discussed that we will have motions brought forward for to tighten some wording in our Code of Conduct and Rules of Procedure to keep in line with the Towns and Local Service District Act. We had some requests for property, business, and water and sewer tax relief. And we had a request from the local middle school for a contribution towards their year-end awards. Worth noting in our manager's reports, as of June the 1st, we have so far given $3,685.95 in local community donations. And this year's property tax reduction requests, we have had, now normally I can read this better, property tax reduction totals of approximately $75,000 to date. So again, we always encourage all residents to apply if they feel that they may be eligible for property tax reduction, because you can possibly be eligible for 25, 50, 75, or up to 100% reduction. And of course, there's an income-based procedure. The town staff is more than happy to help anybody who needs their help or their assistance filling out those property tax reduction requests. And the deadline for property tax for this year, I'm looking to the CAO, June 30th, madam? Property taxes are due on June the 30th. So today is the 23rd. We have 1 week for residents and businesses to have this year's property taxes paid. Other than that, in our Department of Corporate Services Manager's Report, business as usual. We were very pleased to have all of our audits completed and up to date, and our staff is well on schedule with keeping everything on date for the future. We also have had some staffing changes where we've filled a maternity leave replacement, and I believe we've got some new staff training that's underway. But that's normal business in our Finance, Admin, and Policy Department, and I'd like to request that you accept my report as presented. I have recommendations to follow.
Thank you, Councillor. Recommend to accept her report as presented. Can I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any comments? No discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Carried. You have recommendations?
I do. So our first one is A0047-1, Code of Conduct Municipal Officials. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends Council approve policy A0047-1 with minor language edits to align with the Towns and Local Service District Act.
Thank you. So moved. We have a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Williams. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against. Motion's carried. Next one, please.
Rules and procedures of meetings of the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends Council approve the rules and procedures of meetings of the Town Council of Happy Valley Goose Bay bylaw with minor language edits to align with the Towns and Local Service District Act.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against, motion's can't, carried.
Okay, Mayor, before the next one, I have to declare a conflict because I am a board member with the Mokobe Women Council.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just give you a second to get to the gallery. Okay, Councilor Rumble.
Okay. Our next three are for the same business, so those are the ones that the deputy will not join us for. The first one, Mokame Status of Women, Request for Property Tax Relief 2025, sorry. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends council approve 25% tax relief for property tax for 2025 for Power ID 079571, based on the total principal of $11,213.30, and the recommended relief would be $2,803.32.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Dyson. Any discussion? So this is within the policy and within the thresholds identified within that policy, correct?
F0009.
Yeah, okay, all right. No discussion? Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Motion's carried. Okay, I'll have Deputy Mayor come back to her.
No, I have three.
Oh, you have three that's related?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Mokame of Status of Women, Request for Water Sewer Tax Relief 2025. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends council deny tax relief on water sewer tax for 2025 for Power ID 079571 in the amount of $839.52. Interest as water and sewer fees and related interest are not eligible for exemption under policy F0009.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Williams. Discussion? None heard? Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. None against? Motion's carried.
Okay, and the next one, Mokame Status of Women, Request for Business Tax Relief 2025. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends council approve 25% tax relief for business tax for 2025 for Power ID 0795710002, based on the total principal of $5,245.38. The recommended relief is $1,311.45.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Dyson. Any comments? No discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Motion's carried. Okay, now the Deputy Mayor can come back to her seat. Okay, thank you.
Okay, my next item, donation request, Queen of Peace Middle School Awards Fund. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends council approve a donation of $500 to Queen of Peace Middle School's Awards Fund, as the request supports local students and provides a direct community benefit.
Okay, so moved, seconded by
I'll second that.
Councilor Williams. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against, the motion is carried.
Okay. My next one, be it resolved that council approve the sale of one 2014 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 WT 4x4, VIN number 3GCUKPEC 5EG332865, deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S190 of the TLDSA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Winters. Any discussion? Councilor Rumble?
This is something that wasn't really discussed during our committee of the whole, other than to say that we would be, as a part of our assets management, disposing of vehicles that were no longer serviceable, correct? So, yeah, just to make it clear that it's just, items that are no longer serviceable for the town and
No longer of service.
no longer
to the
of
town.
service, sorry, not serviceable, no longer in service or being used at this time by the town. And so, yeah, we'll dispose of the assets in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add, our vehicles take quite the beating over the years, and we've had some vehicles that have been lived their life, and I'm glad that management's taken the approach to to replace vehicles through a policy, and that seems to be working pretty good. Not hearing too many complaints anyway from management or staff, but, yeah, it's good to see that we're moving forward with that policy, getting rid of stuff that's really no use to the town anymore. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor? None against, the motion's carried.
The next item, be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one 2017 Ford F-150, VIN number 1FTMF1EF6HKE29078, deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the Towns and Local Service District Act.
Okay, so moved, seconded by
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
None against, motion's carried.
Be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one 2009 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 VIN 1GCEK14X09Z2408882, deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Winters. Any discussion? No discussion, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. None against, motion's carried.
Be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one 2011 GMC Sierra 2500 HD, VIN number 1GT12ZCG0BF257817, deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by
I'll second it.
Councilor Williams. Any discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. None against, motion's carried.
Be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one 2015 Paladin Sweeper CS32, registration number 092488, deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Odell. Any discussion?
All I want to say on that one is I will not be supporting that because I was a big advocate for sweepers in previous years, and I definitely think we could use sweepers in parking lots and different areas around town.
Yeah, if I can ask the CAO in terms of this, is this like deemed surplus? Is it because it's not being used, or is it because it's no longer functionable?
Because we have new sweepers that we've had since this one, and our new sweepers are working much better, and we don't need this excess equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Body amount of the sand around the community, any sweeper in some areas would be, that's my opinion on it. And I know they use them in Lab City faithfully, so
These are not the push ones, are they?
they're to walk behind.
I think it's the one that goes
No,
on
it's
the.
just
Once getting rid of the
attachments.
first ones, right?
It's an attachment.
It's an attachment too,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. Against? One against, Deputy Mayor. Okay,
Be it resolved that council approve the sale of one 2001 Craig Snowblade attachment deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Odell. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote.
I think you'll have to
Hold on now, Councilor Dyson.
This one here, and this one here, is it the same thing? Or is it two?
Okay, we're ready to call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. Any against? None against? Motion's carried.
Be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one town office desk and hutch deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councilor Winters. Any discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. None against, motion's carried.
Be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one town office desk extension deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Winters. Any discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. None against? Motion's carried.
My final resolution, be it resolved, the council approve the sale of one town office reception desk deemed surplus through public tender in accordance with S-190 of the TLSDA.
Okay, so moved, seconded by?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. None against? Motion's carried.
And that's
Okay,
everything for me.
thank you, Councillor. So we'll move right into Community Planning and Development, and Councillor Dyson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Community Planning and Development with Randy Dillon and Margaret Alderby, the digitizing of historical mapping and data that is stored in the basement is ongoing, reviewing of the civic numbering system, updating the public procurement files for record keeping, plan amendments is ongoing, discretionary land use application ongoing as well, assisting with the electric bus implementation, lots of resident inquiries. The deficiencies are ongoing with the YMCA. I guess we'll get an update from Randy on that on his return. Road intersection upgrades for Loring Drive and Hamilton River Road happening as we speak. D42 pump house upgrades, the bike trail upgrades, the Grenfell Street reconstruction is happening now. I know there's a bit of confusion over the sidewalks in that, but we'll talk about that as well. The riverbank stabilization, the consultant services were awarded, but as we had noted in the committee of the whole, there were no bids received. The fire hall design is ongoing. The EV bus charger is almost completed, as far as I know, and we're looking at extensions to the landfills. That is ongoing. With the community development online meetings, interactive workshop with the Canadian Digital Regulators Forum, meeting with the Plutonium Transit app team, and that's with regards to the electric bus. In-person meetings with the Central Labrador YMCA, meetings with the Pathway to Prosperity project team. The town hosted the Happy Valley Goose Bay Job Fair. The Economic Developers Association of Newfoundland and Labrador awarded the best community project to the town, and that was with regards to the electric bus. Upgrades to town's calendar and social media pages is constant. Live streaming of council meetings and videos, that's also uploaded to town's YouTube page, and Instagram engagement is ongoing as well, and I ask that you accept this report as read.
Thank you, Councillor. Call for a seconder to accept the report. Councillor Williams, any discussion on the report?
I got a question, the river stabilization. I don't think that was awarded again, CAO, or is that wrong? It says in here that
I don't believe it's closed yet.
No, it was
it's
still,
still out there?
They went
It's
back for a
out
second
again.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
And I have 5 recommendations.
Okay, we call for a vote. Do we call for a vote to accept? Okay, call to accept the report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we had a seconder, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Councillor Williams, yes. Okay. None against, motion's carried. Okay,
And I have 5 recommendations. The first one is a discretionary land use application for 2 Heffler. Let's see. The Community Development and Planning recommends to approve the compliance of the existing accessory building at 2 Heffler Street, subject to the proposed primary building meeting all applicable development standards set out in the Happy Valley Goose Bay Development Regulations 2018-2028.
okay, so moved. Seconder? Second by Councillor Williams. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I just wanted to say, this is a discretionary land use, and It was advertised from June the 10th to the 17th. There was 2 letters of support and 3 comments against. So on here it says, against, residents do not want a massive grads in the residential land use. From the current conditions of site, it suggests that it is intended to be used for commercial purposes, directly or indirectly. This type of development will only lead to nuisance, noise, traffic, and safety concerns. So, my understanding is that the garage was built that size so that Mr. Manning could, hold his, houses, RV, fifth wheel, big camper in there, needed a higher garage. And it is not being used for commercial use, and that is a vicious rumor. And Mr. Manning has worked hard to meet the setbacks, the zoning, everything that can fit on that property. He spent a lot of money. He's after getting 3 or 4 designs so that the house fits on that property and meets the regulations and the sizing, the zoning, and setbacks and everything else. My understanding is the 2 residents that support it live directly in that area. I don't know where the 3 other people live. Do they even live close to the property? I don't know. I fully support this. The man is trying to beautify the property. He wants to put a house there. He wants to grass it. He wants to pave the driveway, everything that is, would be needed for a property to beautify it. And it is not being used for commercial as some people would think. So I fully support this discretionary land use.
Okay, any other comments? I'll comment because I have a problem with the recommendation. Simply because, we shouldn't be at this stage. This should have been dealt with up front, right at the beginning, so we wouldn't be here having this discussion. Whatever the long-term intention is, there is a lot of equipment and stuff stored on that property, which is not within our town's development regulations. It is not permitted to be in that area. And it's been there for about a year. I think there was a couple of stop work orders or cleanup orders put in place or something put in place to deal with it. We still have sheds on the property. There's equipment that's conducive to industrial or commercial activity. That's the concern I have. Whether that will continue in the state that it's in right now and into the future, because it is a low residential area and people do expect to have certain development standards in those areas of town. The other thing too, in terms of compliance of the existing building, the building is there and we're asking to approve a building that's already there, which I find difficult to wrap my head around. And if this is the only way forward, I'm hopeful, and I would expect that the applicant would, follow the town's development regulations like the rest of us. We all have to follow the regulations. Whether he was misinformed or not understanding what the regulations were, I can't speak to that. But the activity that's been there for the last year, it's caused a little bit of a concern for council, and we've been dealing with this for quite some time. And I just hope that whatever happens in that area is going to be conducive with the zoning that's of that area, and that we're not in a situation where we have to issue more orders down the road. Councillor Dyson?
I think Mr. Manning has worked hard with the town engineer, Randy Dillon, to make sure that everything is as it should be. And my understanding is that he's met those regulations with Randy's department. So I will be supporting this.
Okay. Any other comments?
I just want to
Councillor
add,
Rumble.
Mayor,
One second, no?
sorry.
It's all right, thank you, Mayor. I think what we just need to bear in mind is that what we're voting on is not what's operating at that location. What we're voting on is to approve the compliance of an existing accessory building. So whether there's commercial operations, whether there's not commercial operations, whether there was a stop work order or not a stop work order, those are things that, yes, they need to have attention paid to them, but not in this particular motion. So this particular motion just simply says approving the compliance of the existing accessory building. So when we deal with this. If it's detected that there's a problem with commercial operations or anything that's outside of that, then that would be another whole thing that we can absolutely, as council, you know, have stop work orders or, you know, the correct permits in place. But just important to keep in mind that this one is just voting on compliance of the accessory building and not actually the operations of what is going on.
Okay, any other comments?
Mayor, I just wanted to say, I believe, from talking to the CAO and over the, you know, previous months, that Mr. Manning had many meetings with the CAO and discussions and discussed some of that, you know, and some of the things that were on that property. And if you drove by lately, you'll see that a lot of it was removed. Trailers, there's still some shacks there, but his plans is to move it, from my understanding. And I believe he had conversations with the CAO over this. And, yeah, we're voting on accessory building. You know, 2 people in the neighborhood support it, 3, I don't know where they're from and who got them concerns in. And, but yeah, you know, the man is trying to beautify the property and move it forward, according to, you know, the town regulations and zoning, so.
Councillor Odell?
Yeah, I just, first and foremost, I'd like to know, does the accessory building itself, does it fall, first and foremost, within the town regulations as low density and whatnot? Is it something that actually falls in our regulations and our policies? That size of the structure?
Well, an accessory building would certainly fall within the regulations if it's the primary, you know, accessory to the primary residence in a residential low-density area.
The
Okay,
definition is right there in your briefing
Yeah,
note,
I'm just
so,
trying to-
yeah, it's,
Yeah, it just
Definitely.
it just says, you know, accessory building 6.2 and whatnot, but I'm just trying to figure out, because I mean, there's nothing there there's no house associated with the accessory building, so with regards to like, the recommendations based on what we should be as a council looking for to make a decision,
It's all listed there.
yeah, I know, and I'm looking at it. The location of accessory building, the size of accessory building, visibility of the structure from neighboring properties and or street. So with regards to the policies and the regulations of the town, the primary structure would have to meet or exceed the size of that building in itself, correct?
And that was included, the
Yes,
design
and
that
I've
he
seen
shot
that,
back
yes.
now meets the requirements.
Okay. Secondary onto that is that I'm looking at the pictures because I can only go for with what I have received. And we're talking about a residential, so from what I can see right now, there's trailers and there's flatbeds and there's lighting stations and whatnot. So obviously this was, the intention of this initially was for commercial use primarily, because no one can tell me that this was initially intended for residential with all this infrastructure and equipment on site. So going forth with regards to how this proceeds, there is no timeline with regards to when a building or structure, primary building has to be built, correct? No. So, and again, as Councillor Rumwald stated, this is basically to determine whether this accessory building meets our guidelines. So from our CAO, I'm assuming that this already meets our guidelines anyways, or meets our regulations. There's nothing in our guidelines or regulations that states that this building is inappropriate for that lot.
Based on size, that's correct.
That's based on size.
Okay, all right, we'll call for a vote. No further discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of the
Who
motion?
was the seconder, sorry?
Seconder? Who was the seconder?
Was that me?
No.
Jill.
Did
I
we
think it
have
was
any
Councillor
seconder
Williams.
before the-
Councillor Williams was the
Councillor
seconder?
Williams, second.
I think so, yeah.
All right, we went into discussion before we had a seconder, okay.
I
No,
know, I
no,
think
she
I
did-
did
she did
second.
second.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
okay, perfect. All right, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Record show, 1 against. Okay, we'll move on to the next one.
Okay, the second one is discretionary land use application for Saunders Design and Engraving, and staff recommend the council approve the home-based business application at 14B Brett Street to operate a home-based design and engraving business called Saunders Designs and Engraving, subject to compliance of all town regulations and conditions in provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Williams. Any discussion? Councillor Rumble.
Just going back to our committee of the whole, I think there was question at that point that it was signed by the applicant stating that they were the homeowner, but somebody was gonna follow up from our engineering department to determine, because that was a apartment
It's an
unit,
apartment,
that the person on the application was actually the homeowner. Do we know if that is correct?
I haven't received anything.
Okay.
So if it's the homeowner, there's no issue, or a letter, I guess, from the homeowner that would allow that activity to take place there, so we don't have, that's not in the package?
Well, the applicant signed as the homeowner, and that was the question was, I guess,
Were they
because
renting,
some of us thought that, and I know me for one, thought that that unit was owned by somebody else, and, I mean, it could possibly have sold, and, I mean, I don't know every owner of a rental in Goose Bay, but, it was just odd that this one was signed by, actually, no, my mistake, I'm looking at it here now, here was the issue. It was signed by the applicant, but the property owner's signature, if required, was not there. So there was no signature of a property owner, no letter from a property owner, so we don't know for certain that this person is that property owner, and if they're not, do they have the property owner's permission?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think that's important to have, because.
yeah, it was, I know the question was
We
brought up
had
at
that, we
committee of
had
the
that
whole.
discussion, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, if we vote yes, and then it turns out that the applicant is not the property owner, and the property owner says, hang on now, I didn't give permission for a tenant to operate a home-based business.
But we,
What happens then?
well, we directed the department to
Follow up.
verify that that was, so I'm assuming it was verified, seeing as
Because
it's in
we
the
didn't get
package.
anything. Okay, perfect.
Okay,
But what if it's not?
yeah,
if it's
I
not-
would,
Well,
I
that's what I
wouldn't
was gonna
normally
ask. What's
assume.
the recourse if it's not?
That would be between.
Well, the
property owner.
recourse would be council would have to rescind its decision if they vote in favor, but pending what the
Okay.
owner would, if there's an issue. So, I mean, we can proceed
Can we
with the
amend?
recommendation, and at some point, if there's an issue, then we'll have to revisit.
So
That sound good?
can the motion be stated that we approve the home-based business
On a condition,
on the condition that that it's verified that the homeowner is them or,
okay, so if you want to make an amendment, or basically revise the motion and have someone second what you put forward, then the first motion will just fall off the table.
Can I ask a question?
Counsel.
The briefing note provided to council, in the background, it states that the property owner has approved the discretionary land use application for a home-based business submitted by the applicant. So I just wonder, is council questioning the staff on the briefing note?
No, well, it just,
No,
that
it's just
section
there's
where
no-
it says property owner signature if required, and
If
it's,
required,
okay, so it's not always required.
is not always required.
That
and
answers my question.
Sometimes they'll send a letter, they'll send an email, or they'll have a
Okay.
phone call.
Okay,
But in the brief note, it says that the property owner has approved, which
Right.
means that there is some communication to
okay,
that approval.
well, that's fine
All
then.
right.
I was reading it as they had
so
to
they didn't
sign
have to
it, so,
actually fill out an application or sign anything saying that they approve it.
Well,
They can sign the form, but they can also
don't have to.
communicate in other ways.
okay,
All
As
right,
long as we've got.
so
confirmation.
staff is confirming that they,
Right.
okay.
okay.
All right,
So it
perfect.
stands as it
Yep.
is.
All right, we'll go,
Perfect.
leave it at the original motion.
Yep.
We have a
Yep,
seconder on
that
that?
answers my question, thank you.
Seconded, okay, all right, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. None against, motion's carried. Okay, thank you. Now we move into protective services.
No, no,
No.
no.
Oh, you
no.
have more?
I got more.
Who's not on the
Always,
agenda?
I know, I always got more.
It's additional.
These are additional motions. Okay, this one is, a discretionary land use application for M&A Construction. The applicant is looking to operate a home-based, office, so the staff recommends that council approve the home-based office application at 21 Hope Street, where Bill Dormady will operate a phone, internet, email-only home office for a business called M&A Construction, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Motion's carried.
Okay. The next one is a discretionary land use application. This is, the applicant is Dave Callahan, looking to operate a
Okay.
home-based.
I'm just gonna just stop there right now. I'll remove myself.
Oh, 'cause you didn't know this one was in the package.
No, this is something that came in today. So, Deputy Mayor, if you could just take this one here.
Okay, Counselor Dyson?
Okay, the staff recommends that the town approve the home-based business application at 49 Loyal Street, where Dave Callahan will operate a phone, internet, email-only home office for a business called Iron North Rentals Limited, subject to compliance with all the town regulations and conditions.
Do we have a seconder? Second by Counselor Rumble. Any discussion? I have a question. It says rental equipment. What type of equipment do we know that it's a fax phone, home-based business?
It says, yeah, the name of the company is Iron North Rentals Limited.
Do we know like what the rentals, it's just fax phone, so there's not gonna be no equipment on that property?
Nothing on site.
It says that the laydown will be 20 Toronto Avenue, so I assume that's where the equipment will be?
That's,
Okay.
yeah, that's on the Canadian
Yeah,
side.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? None heard, all in favor?
Aye.
The mayor, back to his seat.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, the last one is a development regulations amendment.
Excuse me. I have to declare a conflict on this one.
I should have just told you. I knew what it was about too, and I didn't even tell you.
Okay,
Okay, this is a motion of council. This motion relates to the rezoning request for property in west of Heffler subdivision for the construction of a personal care facility under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000. The Town Council of Happy Valley Goose Bay adopts the amendment number 12, 2026 to the Happy Valley Goose Bay Development Regulations.
okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Williams. Any discussion? Counselor Odell.
I was just wondering, could the area specifically to the personal care facility be rezoned, or do that whole section have to be rezoned? Because if you change it from what it currently is to residential multi-units, that basically puts us into medium and high-density structures rather than single dwellings. So was it always intended to be that anyhow, or, because if we rezone it, then single dwellings won't be able to build there, so.
My
And it is a
understanding,
big chunk of land.
yeah, my understanding is that the area that in question is
Yeah.
that would be the area that would be
The full-
amended in the regulations to allow for the use.
The area
for
that they're
use.
building the personal care
So
facility.
there will be other areas up there that would still have
Okay.
different zoning, like
But the full
resident.
area that was in question, is that gonna be part and parcel to this personal care facility?
The area where they want to
That
build
was
it, yeah.
yellowed out, or
That area there, yeah.
That whole section?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Is
Okay.
there, CAO?
So I just wonder what whole area you're referring to?
Well,
You're not
I-
referring to all, the entire
just
west
no,
of
just the,
Heffler?
Just the area
yellow
where-
piece
where-
that was shown
where they-
that's being
Right,
yeah.
that kind of northwestern corner?
Yeah, well, it went to the back of the penitentiary.
It's the area that's identified on the application.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
So it doesn't go beyond that, is that
No,
one
no, it's just that
particular
one
area?
section, I
Yeah.
realized that, I was just wondering if this facility would take up that whole space, or will there be other room for other development? if
Yeah,
need
there's
be?
lots of room there, like,
Okay.
that goes further to the south, I guess, south of there,
Okay.
so.
So just stating that whatever they're asking for to be rezoned, we will not be able to, or they will single dwelling homes or low density.
Not on that
Not on
particular
that
area
piece of
unless
property.
it's another rezoning application
Yes.
down the road.
Okay.
If the personal care home doesn't come to fruition,
Yeah,
then that area, you know, we'll see what happens to that area. Would have to
So
require.
we don't own it, the developer do.
Right, we don't know what's gonna happen, but it may be, you know, at some point, if it's never a personal care home there, then,
right.
you know, can't foresee what will happen, but generally it would probably come back for another rezoning change if necessary.
Yeah, and again, basically what I was asking was, could you rezone just the specific amount that are requesting for this personal care development?
Yes,
That's the area that's
the area.
identified in
That
the
whole piece.
application.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
okay.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, none heard, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
None against, the motion is carried. Deputy Mayor? Okay. All right, we'll move into, okay, so that's it for you,
That's
Counselor?
it.
All right, thank you. Protective Services and Deputy Mayor Compton House.
Thank you, Mayor. During the committee of the whole, we had several discussions. Of course, we talked about the transient issues and how there's still many issues in our community, illegal activity, and we're continuing. You know, as a council, we all live here too. We witness this every day. We're not sitting on our thumbs doing nothing. We bring this forward quite often. We've been at it for a long time, you know, and we will continue to advocate for improvement around, you know, public safety in our community. We talked about the Peacock Primary School. They were looking to fence in an area, again, dealing with intoxicated people coming through the school grounds. And our Director of Protective Services, Brad Butler, is working on this and working with the school and hoping that the school board can move forward in a positive direction with the fencing. We talked about the community safety plan. Again, I urge people, fill out the survey because it's gonna be finalized within the next week or so. Now's your time, you know, not get on Facebook and put in your complaints, but go in and fill out a survey that would benefit our community in the future. It's been out there a long time now, so hopefully people, you will go on and fill out that survey for the community safety wellness plan. We talked about the bike path and how ATVs are still abusing the new bike trail, and we're trying to find ways to keep the ATVs off the bike trail for safety reasons, and they're going to demolish that new asphalt, you know, in no time if they continue that. And it's not just children on that bike trail that are abusing it, it is adults out there, you know. That bike trail is a good trail for persons who have mobility issues with scooters and accessibility issues with walkers and wheelchairs and users and you know, to see ATVs on there tearing it up is just not good. So that, you know, the town council had discussions on this and are continuing to find ways to keep them ATVs off that trail. In the RCMP report, I often talk about that, I try to talk about that every month. So for the month of May, there were 691 calls and 722 in 2025. The number of calls are still high, and I encourage you to keep calling, because if you see something out there that illegal activity that shouldn't be happening, or for safety reasons for anybody, you know, call it in. Data is very important. And I just want to say too, with the Protective Services Committee, or Protective Services, we met with the Premier yesterday and MHA Keith Russell, and it was a positive meeting. And we talked about many things. We talked about a fire hall that we need. We talked about the transient issue. We talked about public safety. We talked about many issues that impacts our community, and I felt leaving that meeting that it was a very positive meeting. So I'm looking forward to working with our MHA Keith Russell and the Premier and seeing some positive results from that meeting yesterday.
Thank you.
And I ask that you please accept my report as presented.
Okay, so move to accept the report as presented. Do we have a seconder? Second by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion on the report? Councillor
Yeah.
Winters.
I'd just like to reiterate what Deputy Mayor is saying about the bike path. It's not a safe place to be for our walkers, our seniors, our people with accessibility issues. It's not for ATVs or motorized vehicles. It's not built for that. And those that are using it should stop using it. We have lots of dirt trails, lots of places for the ATV, 4x4, side-by-sides, these vehicles to go. We have lots of trails in Goose Bay. This is for walkers. This is for people taking their kids for walking strollers. This is for people with accessibility issues. It's not for motorized vehicles, and they're not supposed to be on there. That's just the bottom line. Our MEO has the ability to enforce ATV regulations on that path, and I believe what we're hoping to do now is to have him it's up to them to have their plan, but to start seizing vehicles and start finding them. Enough is enough. That bike path is not for motorized vehicles. That's all I have to say.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. Any other comments? No, I'll echo those concerns because a lot of money and a lot of time and effort been put into rebuilding that bike trail, and it would be a shame to have it tore apart by ATVs. And I'm fully supportive of our MEO seizing whatever vehicle you can get going down that road, or people call it a road. It is a road, but it's a thoroughfare, and having ATVs go down, or any vehicle for that matter. I mean, bicycles, no problem. You know, all it takes is to seize one or two, and then the message gets around, and there should be zero tolerance, in my opinion. Okay, any other comment?
I just wanted to make one more comment, Mayor. I think it's important. We've heard a lot of complaints about the e-scooters lately, and I did mention that to the Premier yesterday as well.
Yeah.
And the province right now don't have any legislation in place, but they're aware of it and working on the scene. So hopefully we'll get something in place, because the e-scooters are out of control, not just in Goose Bay, but all over. And they're high speeds, and it, you know, for the concern for the safety of the children that are using them, that let's just hope there's no serious accident out there, and there is some legislation put in place so that we can, put a bylaw in place at some point.
All right, any other discussion?
Well, just on that, on the ATV, there are other municipalities, other provinces that are actually charging the parents of the kids when they've, for whatever reason, but they have it in their legislation that the parents are responsible, and they've made charges and succeeded in that. So something that the province needs to do here as well.
Any other discussion? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. None against? Carried. Okay, moving right along, Municipal Services and Councillor Williams.
She's home.
I am home, and I'm so grateful
Yes,
for it.
welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so sorry for everybody who had to listen to me on the phone for the last 6 weeks. Councillor Dyson actually spoke a lot about my engineering situation, because they do fall over between the two. But engineering continues to manage a significant number of capital projects. As Councillor Dyson mentioned, work is progressing on the D42 pump house upgrades, and also construction underway and completion expected later this fall. Councillor Dyson also mentioned the paving happening on Loring Drive and Grenfell Street, and I'd want to urge people to please be careful on those areas. I know that it can be tedious to have to go around construction, but we're very grateful for it to be done. From a public works perspective, crews have transitioned into summer operations, of course, and continue to focus on road maintenance, signage repairs, landfill operations, and support to other municipal departments. Equipment maintenance remains a significant priority, with mechanics continuing to manage repairs and servicing on both heavy equipment and the vehicle fleet to ensure reliable operations throughout the construction season. One item worth noting is that the department continues to operate and maintain an aging fleet. We just talked about that and what vehicles are going. I did think I was going to have those recommendations, Councillor Rumble, but I did not get them. They came under financial services, which I understand, but not well. But it reinforces the importance of long-term planning for municipal operations, facilities, and fleet maintenance. And that's all for my department. I ask you to please accept my report as read.
A second.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion on the report?
Mayor, I just want to mention, and we've talked about this, but I think it's important that we set a date to talk about the depot. Time is ticking, so I think that we need to have a plan in place. So
Okay.
we should schedule a meeting.
Yeah, I think the intent is to try and get more committee structures coming soon, maybe early in the fall, where we can actually sit down with managers and have those discussions within each department. So, so hopefully we can move on that once the summer is over with, and we can move into the fall and have more in-depth discussions with managers directly. Okay, any other discussion?
Just the EV charger, I know that the date was postponed. Is there
It's supposed to be finished tomorrow. Is that still the place? Does anyone know? Was Mr. Dillon not here? It said tomorrow in the committee of the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't received any updates since.
Okay, so it's close, it's close.
Yeah,
It's close. I honestly don't think it'll be tomorrow, but it is close. There haven't been any notifications of further delays.
Yeah.
And ChargePoint has been in contact with me to get some information, to be able to get the system up and running. So
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
taking that as a good sign.
Yeah. All right, no other discussion. Call to a vote to support the report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, none against, carried. Community Service and Recreation and Councillor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. Just give an overview of CSR Mayor's report from May. Action items still on the table is this Mealy Mountain soccer field. It has been aerated with limited success, fertilized and overseeded. Field is slowly recovering, and summer students will begin to level it once they are hard. Summary of the operations. Townsend Tomb will be here in August to do the second part of their program. We already had mayor and representatives from the town visit Beaufort, and now they'll be coming up to do the second part in August. Ribfest has been scheduled, and they're in the planning stage, scheduled for August. The YMCA annual campaign for the, from my understanding, the second annual Strong Kids event took place on Saturday, but there was no report as of this meeting. The CAC and FAC committees of the YMCA have not met as there was no staff available. The Age-Friendly Community Action Plan, first meeting took place. Regrets from Mental Health Services and YMCA, the group will meet more regularly. Funding applications, ACOA application is submitted. IGA funding has been approved at $50,000 for our central hung score clock. Canoe procurement quote for the supplier has been requested. Regarding the Sports Hall of Fame, there's a draft TRO being prepared and sent to the CO for her review and feedback. Husky Park renaming, a draft consultation plan has been prepared. Next step is to review the survey to release publicly. Summer Rec staff has been hired. They will try one more time for the half-day sport camp. Registration expected to start mid-June. Program will start July 6th and run until August 28th, an extra week longer this year. NL Games bid, basically it was not put in on time and he asked for an extension. Recanal Regional Seminar took place here in Happy Valley Goose Bay with success. Moving on to just an overview of what's coming up. We have no recommendations, so basically the overview of what's coming up for the rest of the month is June 22nd, start of the Monter Ball, which happened yesterday. Canada Day is July 1st. July 6th to the 28th, 7 weeks of summer rec. July 24th to the 26th, Rib Fest. And August 17th to the 22nd, the Towns and Tune production of an HVBB. I have no recommendations, so please accept the report as provided.
Okay, so moved to accept the report, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion on the report? CAO.
Don't forget our bike rodeo happening this Saturday.
It was not in the report.
That's right, our bike rodeo this Saturday, so.
Wouldn't that be under protective services?
It is what's happening at the arena.
Yeah,
Happening at the
it's not
arena.
in the report, so
And our MEO is trying to get the word out.
Yeah.
So what's the date?
Saturday, June 27th at 11.
So everybody, all ages, bring your bikes to the arena, get them registered. I assume they can be registered with the town and engraved. Is that the plan? I'm just asking the MEO here now, if you can shed some light on this, if you want to promote it, here's the opportunity.
We have 2 bikes.
You can step up to the mic there, Mr. Poole, so you can have your 3 minutes of promoting this to the community.
So yeah, we got some donations from Co-op, Pikes, Northmart, and Mary Brown's, which is going to be water and juice and stuff that Sasha's going to donate. Northmart is donating the barbecue and 10 gift cards valued at $100 each. Pikes is donating the bike kit, and Co-op done a bike kit as well.
Okay, so
And
the vehicle, like the bikes will be registered, or is that?
Well, we don't have that program.
Okay,
So that's one that we had a couple years in a row, and so we didn't carry that one over this year. That was Chris Shellswell's idea with RCMP. And I know that you can still purchase it, I think, at Hometown Sports. I believe they may still have it, and Minipee. But we're hopefully a big turnout, and it's going to be a good day for the kids.
great stuff. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so that's it for your report, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll call for a seconder to Councillor's report. Okay, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. All right, move into, I guess, the next item on the agenda, if I can find it here, is the approval of checks. Okay, Councillor Rumble.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that we accept checks in the amount of $821,346.43, please.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any comments on the checks?
No, just one, I see Kimberly G. Humphreys, Professional Corporate. It's unfortunate that's the last time we're gonna see her there, because she was in charge of our audits and done 8 years of audits in 4 years.
Yeah.
Which was completely amazing, and like I said, I just gotta give hats off to Kim, and it's too bad that she's not gonna be coming back.
Yeah, that was a check I didn't have a problem signing.
No, exactly.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, no, so we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Okay, now we'll move into Councillors' Forum, and I will look to Councillor Winters.
I already spoke on the bikes, the bike path. Like I said, it's not for public use, motorized vehicle use, and I commend our MEO for the job that he's doing. Remember, we only have one MEO. If we had 2 or 3, discussed with Councilor Odell in private, I mean, it would be beneficial, but that's unfortunate. But he is doing an amazing job trying to keep those motorized vehicles, because that path is not for motorized vehicles. And like you said, and talking with the engineer, it's only gonna tear up that was a costly piece of infrastructure for our town. That's only gonna be tore up by motorized vehicles. And one other thing is, I recently had the honor of being invited by the Perrault family to the memorial service for Ron Perrault. Ron was the last of the original 3 families, Happy Valley families. Ron attended every Happy Valley Day celebration until he physically could not. I finally remember chatting with him at the last one he attended and talking about our town's beginnings and our family connections. Ron passed away in October, but this celebration of life and spreading of his ashes took place on the 20th of June, this past weekend. So I would like to send condolences to Nana, Barry, Jeff, and Kenny to acknowledge again the passing of the last original residents of Happy Valley Goose Bay, or Happy Valley. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Councilor Rumble.
Thank you, Mayor. Wanted to mention that the spring cleanup has clued up. The crew has been out and cleaning up, and now we're to the end of our bulk residential waste roadside collection. So it did state on our town memo, if you get missed, please call the town and we will arrange to pick up your waste on June 22nd and June 26th. So that means 1 day left. So if you were missed, if you had your stuff out on the side of the road and you were missed, please contact the town office. But in that same vein, I wanted to say, you know, hats off to the cleanup crew, because when you're driving around town and you see them out there and they're working in whatever weather, doing the best job that they can to improve the tidiness of our town, it's on all of us to maintain it and to make sure that, you know, either, well, number one, you don't litter, but number two, if you see a piece of trash, I mean, take a moment to pick it up and take pride in our community. In that same vein, I would like to acknowledge the huge number of property owners in our community that take such pride in their lawns, in their flower gardens. There's somebody here in Chamber who may spend a whole lot of time planting pretty flowers, but it really just taking that bit of pride and showing your pride in ownership, the pride in your property. It's not unnoticed, and, you know, we thank those residents. I've been to the hardware store and the greenhouse on Saturdays, and it's madness, because everybody does take, I was in a board meeting the other night, and tips were being exchanged on how to get the greenest lawn. So, not unnoticed, and very, very nice to see the people that are taking that extra initiative to keep our town beautiful. The weather is improving. We came into the town hall last night for a meeting, and there were children at the splash pad.
Yeah.
So, in addition to children being at playgrounds and the splash pad, they have to get there by crossing roads. We do have 2 crosswalks in the town here in this area where you have the button that you push and the light flashes, but the majority of crosswalks in our town don't have that. It is very important that residents slow down and are cognizant of approaching a crosswalk. It is your responsibility to stop and let pedestrians cross the road, not treat it as a raceway. I live on Pottle Street. There are 2 crosswalks, one at the intersection of Kelland and near the Nunatuvet building. The other one is the Tuktashina Kelland intersection. And the speed that vehicles are flying past those crosswalks at, I have seen people waiting patiently. Please, please be a kind, considerate, courteous driver and stop for our pedestrians. Also wanted to mention roaming dogs. I understand kids are getting out of school. They may not slam the door tightly behind them. Dogs do escape. It happens to the best pet owner. But make sure that you have your dogs registered, that if they are found by our animal control officer, she's able to contact you. And clean up after your pets. I have a leash. I have a little dispenser with the bags that nobody wants to carry, but we all do it because it's our responsibility. Clean up after your pets so that somebody else doesn't need to walk in the mess that's left behind. My final item I wanted to mention, I want to give a huge hats off to the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce and all the hard work that they put into planning Expo Labrador. Their hard work does not go unnoticed. We understand how difficult their decisions that they had to make had to have been, and the business community and the organizers and the planners, just so that they know that, you know, the town appreciates all the time and effort that's put into that event. So that is it for me. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Councillor. Councillor O'Dell.
Okay. I just got a couple of points that were already brought up a couple of times already throughout this meeting. So back to the walking trail again. This is an ask to the residents who operate ATVs, side-by-sides, and or other off-road vehicles that this is not permitted on the walking trail. If you have children operating these vehicles, please inform them not to drive on the trail, as there are plenty of off-road trails that they can avail of. Also, if individuals are caught, they will be fined and or have their vehicles impounded. So just to let residents know of this town, hopefully we're going to start cracking down, or we are cracking down on ATVs and whatnot on that walking trail. It's meant for a specific purpose, and that's not one of them. We've also talked about e-scooters here this evening. So again, asking parents whose children operate these vehicles to be mindful of traffic, to make sure that they're wearing protective gear, lighting on these vehicles if they're operating at night, and to abide by the rules of the road. So if they don't know what the rules of the road are when operating these vehicles, they can get in contact with our MEO, I guess, who can inform them, or the RCMP, so that if they are operating these devices, that they know exactly how and what their rules and responsibilities are on the roads. Again, Councillor Winters mentioned we have one MEO. He is doing an amazing job. He's one person in a large town. I know everybody has issues with this not being done and that not being done, but one person in a town this size, you can only be in one place at one time, so I do believe he's doing the best he possibly can with the time he has in a run of a day. So hats off to him. I wish we had more, but unfortunately we do not at this point in time. Again, to the residents, school is out, so as Councillor Rumble mentioned, crosswalks, be mindful of those. There will be more kids in and around town, crossing streets, going to splash pads, parks and whatnot and so forth. So be mindful of the children now once school is ending, that there will be more activity in and about this town. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Councillor Williams.
Before I begin, I'm hoping that most people can see I'm wearing a Special Olympic shirt this evening. I wore it intentionally to recognize and celebrate the athletes of the Howling Huskies Special Olympic Club here in Goose Bay. So this past week, our club had its annual sports day and year-end celebration. I want to personally thank Mayor Bert Pomeroy and Brad Butler, who was also there to celebrate with our athletes. I want to also acknowledge the hard work, dedication, and accomplishments of our athletes throughout the year. They have ran in the Labrador Winter Games. They also had their sports day where there were medals. They were so sportsmanlike. They showed a lot of enthusiasm, and they continue to make every single person in this community, I hope, very, very proud. I also want to recognize the volunteers and executive members who make the program possible. I am their program coordinator and head coach, and given how busy I am with town council, I know that I'm not going to be able to keep those roles up for next year. But we are volunteer driven. Countless hours are dedicated to allow our athletes to participate, grow, and succeed. So I really am hoping that people who are listening may think about volunteering for our club. We do have 2 important executive positions to fill this year, club coordinator and events planner, and they are essential to keep our club running this next year. On behalf of our council, I'd like to congratulate all of our athletes, all of our volunteers, all of our coaches and executive members on another successful year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Dyson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of points. We had the privilege of having the Premier and some of his staff here for our meetings yesterday. What struck me the most, I guess, was Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs convinced them to take a run up and have a look at the seniors' development, to say that they were blown away by what this community has done with that. The Housing and Homeless Coalition is the model of what the entire province needs. The Premier, I don't know how many times he said, this is amazing. Every community needs this. So it's precedent setting for what's needed in so many places, in not just in Labrador, but in the entire province. So I'm hoping that they'll get lots of support for similar developments in other communities. But the Housing and Homeless Coalition and Jackie and her staff have done amazing up there. I'd like to encourage people to get out and watch some of the local sports that's happening, whether it's youth soccer, scrimmage games that's going on at the pitches, and of course the men's and ladies ball leagues that offer some great competition as well. Other than that, condolences to the families of Garmo Rich, Mona Shepherd, Brendan Roberts, and Mr. Garfield Bessie. Our condolences go out to those families, and that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to touch on a couple things again. I wanted to talk about public safety, and we all see all the complaints that are put out there on Facebook, social media. Not going to get you any answers. You need to write your letters. You need to fill out the surveys. We need to find a solution together moving forward. Public safety is important. And you know what? I've heard comments that the council's doing nothing. The council's doing nothing. We are. And here's some of what we're doing. June the 9th, we met with the Premier and several ministers. We met with Minister Tibbs, Minister Barry Pettin, Minister Ottenheimer, Minister Joey Wall, and there were several, Minister MHA, Russell was on the call. Minister Evans, and many other staff were on that call. And we expressed our concerns, and we want to move forward to find a solution. So for the people in the community who think we're doing nothing, we are doing something. June the 16th, we met with the RCMP and the Assistant Deputy Minister of Public Safety and Justice. Again, we reiterated our concerns with, the local inspector here, Danny Williams, and Jonathan Kenny, RCMP, and again, the Assistant Deputy Minister. Had a lengthy discussion, talked about that, we need more RCMP members, our concerns as a council. And again, yesterday, June the 22nd, we've had 3 meetings in June just on, on other issues yesterday, but public safety was certainly a priority. And I wanted, to put that out there that we are listening. We know, we see what's going on too, and we're doing our best to try to come up with a solution to moving forward with this ongoing public safety issue. Again, we've talked about moving violations for a long time, and we had a good discussion with the Premier around moving violations yesterday, so we're hopeful that we will see that move in a positive direction. And just wanted to mention about the e-scooters again, that be very, very cautious. There's children going in all directions. I saw a post last night about a lady who was at a 4-way stop, and the scooters felt they had a privilege over a driver to take the right or left-hand turn at a 4-way stop, which is very unsafe. And parents, talk to your children because someone is going to be seriously hurt. And that's it for me, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I don't want to rehash everything. There's always the disadvantage going last. But I just, in addition to some of the meetings that the Deputy Mayor referenced, yes, we had a very productive meeting virtually with the Premier about 2 weeks ago, and there were, I think, 5 or 6 ministers were engaged. I think that's probably amongst the first for me to have so many ministers that would sit down with council at one time to discuss issues of concern for our community. So, it was a long time coming, but I think it was a productive virtual meeting. And the Premier arriving yesterday with the MHA, we went through some follow-up items that were on the agenda from a virtual meeting, and I felt it was a very, very positive meeting, and hopefully we can build on that and advance our issues and concerns as we move forward. We also had a couple of other meetings during the month. The Deputy Mayor and I and Councillor Odell and the CAO had a meeting with the base commander just to keep lines of communications open in light of everything that's happening in our region and in our community. And still lots of more discussions that are going to be held, but keeping those lines of communications open, I believe, is very important. We also had so Councillor Odell and I and our Community Services Director traveled to Edmonton to attend the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference. It's a huge conference, but I found this one to be a little different than some of the previous ones I attended. Networking is always important. You get to learn a lot of things from different municipalities from across the country. But there was a lot of discussion on defense and security and Canadian sovereignty and in terms of you know, the expansions and all the money that's going into national defense. Of course, you know, our community is amongst that conversation. We had a discussion with the mayors of Yellowknife and Inuvik. I had a brief discussion with the mayor of Iqaluit the day after. We agreed to continue having further discussions and work towards a memorandum of understanding between the four communities, cities and communities, so that we work together. We realize that we're stronger together than we are individually, and we need to go and work together to try and support each other so we can make the best of what's coming. Just one other thing. Yeah, just Expo Labrador. I mean, very unfortunate that it had to be canceled, but I understand the reasoning why, and I hope that this whole matter can be resolved sooner rather than later, because very unfortunate situation for everybody. The other thing, just want to mention the Kinsman, or the Kin Club of Happy Valley Goose Bay. There's a new chapter that's been established here. Deputy Mayor and I were at an event on Friday when they established their new chapter, and there was a lot of memorabilia on the table, a lot of work that's been done over the last 50 or so years by the Kinnets and the Kinsmen. You know, contributed a tremendous amount of time and effort into helping to build our community, and I wish the new chapter all the best as well. With that, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. CAO, do you have anything you want to say? I see you looking at me. Normally you don't want to say anything, but your eyes are looking at me and raising your eyebrows, so you must have something to say.
Thank you, Mayor. The hot weather yesterday reminded me that fire season is upon us, and the town has shared a lot of resources on its website regarding how to protect your property, your home, how to be mindful of the environment, whether you're out camping or hiking. And I'm hoping we never have to open our EOC again, but if we do, we will. And one thing I'd like to put a plug in for is that the local Red Cross, there is a local person here now who is organizing. They need volunteers. We saw how helpful that the Red Cross were here once they arrived when we had the evacuations of Labrador City and Wabush areas there 2 summers ago. They're a very well organized group, and they need volunteers locally that can be trained and help out at a moment's notice. There is not a lot of time commitment, there is no cost commitment, but they need bodies, and they need bodies that are willing to do a bit of training. And you can find out more by looking them up or checking our Facebook page for contact information for Josiane Demers.
Thank you. Ms. Eddie, anything to say, share? Anyone else? Okay, no, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs, seconded by Councilor Rumbold. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.